Welcome back to this series on the introduction to PHP. If you missed the first tutorial, have a look in the comments below. That'll get you back to where we started. But today what we're going to be writing is pure PHP. So we won't be using any HTML structure to contain our PHP. We'll be looking at declaring variables, looking at the basic data types, and also working with mathematical operators. And this will help you bridge your knowledge from other programming languages to PHP. So let's have a look at how we can declare a variable. Well, in PHP, to declare a variable, we use the $sign. The other thing we use is actually pothole case. So if we had person's age, we would declare it like this and say if they're 18. Remember to place semicolons at the end of every line, especially if you've got multiple lines with inside your PHP tags. The other thing you may have is first name. So you might have $sign first underscore name. And if we're declaring strings, we put them in quotes. And you could put Leon. We can then declare something like last name. Now we could do it like this, but it's not the normal convention. We could actually apply things such as camel case, but that's not the normal convention for PHP. While it will still work, it's not the convention that we use. We always use lowercase, and we use an underscore as a separator, as a hyphen will not work. So you need to get used to using these sort of variable names. Also, when you create a variable name, try to be as descriptive as possible. So if you're using last name like Marsden, if you've got things like recommended retail price, it's a lot harder for people to understand if you code with RRP. You could actually just use retail price, and then you could put something in there like 99.95. Now remember, at the end of every line you do need to place a semicolon. Otherwise, when this runs, you will get an error. Now all of these are being stored within a container. So some people like to call them buckets, some people call them briefcases. So if it is a briefcase, we can actually take the person's age and put 18 inside this briefcase called person's age. So if we want to see the contents of the briefcase, all we have to do is echo it out. So we could actually go echo and then just go $sign. And then you notice there's a list that appears. From the list, we can actually select the person's age. We can then echo out, say their first name. So let's run this by saving it. And I'm just going to refresh the page here. And you notice that they've come out with 18 and Leon. Because person's age was 18, that was put in this briefcase, and then we told it to tell us what was in the briefcase. And then first name was echoed out. What's in first name? Leon. Now you notice that they're sitting right next to each other. Now if we want to put a line return in between the 18 and the Leon, what we need to do is go back in, and at the end of person's age we need to put a full stop. The full stop is our concatenator. In some languages you use the plus sign, other ones you use the N symbol, but in this language we use the $sign. Then we can concatenate another object. In this case here we're going to use the text, which is using a string, which is contained within the quotes. And then we're going to put a break tag in there, which is the BR tag. So I'm going to save this now and go back and run it. You can actually see now that 18 is on one line and Leon is on another line. Now if we want to make a concatenated sentence, we can echo, and we can use something like hi, first name, put a space between the name, then last name. You are person's age, years old. Full stop. And remember, put the semicolon on the end. So what we've got in here is concatenation of variables or suitcases that hold data. And we've got some text, hi, then the first name should go Leon, space, Marsden, then a full stop. You are, person's age should show 18, then years old. Now if we want that to come out on its own line, as you can see in our output, our echo, 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 there's no break after the first name. So I'm just going to copy this down and paste this in here. So it should go person's age, 18, first name, Leon, and then it should say, hi Leon Marsden, you are 18 years old. So we'll just save that, go back, refresh our page, and you can see the 18, Leon. Hi Leon Marsden, you are 18 years old. So what we have at the moment is an integer. We have some strings or text. They're always defined by using quotes, where if I put 18 in quotes, it then becomes the character 1 next to the character 18, and we can't perform mathematical operations on that. So where you've got 99.95, this is known as a real number or a floating decimal point, because it has an integer section, which is a whole number, plus also a remainder section or a decimal section, which is on the right hand side of the decimal point. Hence it's known as a floating decimal point, because it can move up or move down if we times it by 10 or divide by 10. So that's why it's known as floating. If I turn 18 back to a number, we can then head down and perform some mathematical operations. So I'm just going to echo out just a break tag, just so that we've got a line return between the last concatenated sentence and what we're doing now. So what I can declare if I'd like is a number 1. I can actually go number 1 and also number 2. I could make the first one 2 and make the second one 2. I can declare a variable like answer, and I can actually add those two numbers together by going number 1 plus number 2. That will be stored in answer. Now the good thing about PHP is we don't have to declare our variables at the top. We can actually declare and use them on the fly. So as I need them, I can actually create them. So as you can see down here, I declared number 1 and number 2, and then I created answer. I didn't need to do that at the top of my program like other structured programming languages. The next thing I need to do is echo it out. So I can just go echo and then $answer. Now remember that you need the semicolons. And let's see if we get number 4 appearing. I just saved it, refresh the page, and we get the number 4. So that's how we can add numbers together. If we want to subtract, obviously we just use the minus sign and we get 0. We can divide, and let's change the numbers where 9's divided by 3, which should give us an answer of 3, which it does. You'll remember that this symbol, the \1, is the escape character symbol, and that's used to make quotes, and that's used to nullify certain symbols. So when you're doing divide, it's a /. Multiplication is just the standard times. So we should get 3 9s, and that should give us 27. If we would like to go to the power, let's go 2 to the power of 3. We use 2 stars. So 2 to the power of 3 should be 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 2s are 4, 2 4s are 8. So this should give us the answer of 8. Just save that. Refresh, we've got 8. And if we do modulus, modulus uses the % sign. And now modulus will return the remainder. So if we use something like 10 divided by 3, 3 goes into 10 3 times with a remainder of 1, so the modulus is 1. Save this, refresh, and the answer is 1. If we want something nice and neat and divide by 2, 2 into 10 is 5 with no remainder, so the modulus of this equation should be 0 because there is no remainder. Refresh, we get 0 because there's no remainder. The modulus is mainly used when you're working out currency or a change calculator, things like that. So the main variables that you will come across are things such as integers, floats, strings, and one of the other major one is if I want to know if the light's on, I could have it as true. The other option of true is false, and that's known as a boolean. So these are the main data types that we'll be using in our programming. So I hope you found this tutorial useful. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to my channel. Also have a look around my channel for other PHP tutorials and other useful programming tutorials as well. And I'll see you in the next session.